News coming in from Germany. 2 people were killed after a car drove into a crowd in the western German city of Trier. According to the police, the car drove into pedestrians, injuring many. The police has now said that it has arrested a 51-year-old German who was involved in the incident and has seized the car. The police has also tweeted calling citizens to avoid the downtown area. Trier Mayor Wolfram Leib was quoted by a regional broadcaster as saying that the driver was on a rampage. Shoppers were seen huddling outside stores with Christmas decorations while sirens could be heard in the distance. According to an eyewitness, the suspect driving a dark grey Range Rover entered the pedestrian zone and hit the crowd. The area was cordoned off and helicopters were seen circling overhead. And joining us live on the broadcast this minute is senior editor Danielle Baumer, the senior editor of Welt from Berlin. Thanks very much, Danielle, for speaking with us. If you can first bring us the latest that we have at this point.
Thanks for having me. Well, the latest, very sadly, is a rising death toll. Until just half an hour ago, we thought it would be 2 people killed, among them 1 little girl. Now we're at 4, and at this point, the authorities would still not confirm that this is the total death toll. In the official bulletins, you always read that there are multiple deaths. The scene seems so terrible in Trier that there is already action to provide psychological support for those who are actually helping the victims, psychological support for the people from the ambulances and so on. So we're just in the midst of this tragedy, and there's very little that we hear about the motivation of that 51-year-old who committed this crime. We have a first name of his, but not really why he did this.
Right. As the investigation continues, Daniel, this also comes at a time when the entire region has been on the edge with a series of attacks taking place. Is there any other angle that the police is looking at this point? Well,
there is certainly the fear that it could be another Islamist attack. That's sort of the instinctive fear that the authorities and the public have here. So the first reaction to any such case is always that the government authorities warn people not to speculate about the motivation behind this. At the moment, we don't see anything that points to either an Islamist or right-wing extremist attack. Actually, the police doesn't only say that they don't have any clues or that they can't tell us what the motivation is as yet, but they say that there aren't any clues in any direction. So it is still possible at the moment that this is just a mentally disturbed person who acted on a rampage. But as we all know, mentally disturbed people can be motivated by political motives of either side.
And to those uninitiated, tell us more about the area where this incident took place. The street, is it a congested area? We believe there were a lot of people there who were indulging in Christmas shopping.
Yes, the Christmas shopping is just starting here, and people are a bit hesitant to go outside because of the pandemic. But what you should also know is that the city of Trier is a very ancient city. It's possibly the oldest city in all of Germany, founded by the Romans millennia ago. So it is also a rather narrow city, because people didn't build such broad streets and big squares at that time. So if you picture a car driving through the narrow streets of an old city, you can imagine the carnage it can cause.
Daniel, appreciate very much joining us on the broadcast with those perspectives. A quick reaction coming in from the police department. Let's take a listen in.
Wir konnten dieses Auto dann in der Christophstraße, das ist ja am Ende der Fußgängerzone, stoppen, den Fahrer festnehmen. Das ist ein 51-jähriger Mann, ein Deutscher aus dem Landkreis Trier-Saarburg. Sofort waren viele Einsatzkräfte der Polizei und der Rettungsdienste vor Ort. Wir können zur Motivation des Mannes noch nichts sagen. Er ist festgenommen, er wird zurzeit vernommen. Im Moment besteht keine Gefahr mehr.